Oregon sophomore forward Mookie Cook is entering the portal. Pour on threes, Joe Tipton. 6'7" Cook, he was like a top 40 recruit coming out of high school. He chose the Ducks over Gonzaga, Kentucky, USC, a bunch of other schools. I also vaguely remember him, I think, considering playing professionally, maybe taking like the NBL or Australian route. I'm not really sure, kind of where he's at with that, but he's had an injury riddled career to start. He's had some ankle injuries. He just was never able to actually break into the rotation. As a freshman last season, sorry, 2 seasons ago, he missed the first 13 games from off-season ankle surgery, and then he re-aggravated it and missed the rest of the year. Came back this past season, but he just really couldn't break into the rotation kind of. And I feel like injuries have kind of riddled his career to start, but there's still a very talented player there. Obviously, having a guy with his size, 6'7", kind of wing guard player, he can be a guy that I think people would, want to take worth taking a shot on, a guy with that high of a pedigree, with the schools that wanted him early on. But kind of hard to speak on his play the last 2 years because he has not played much. But you go look at the high school tape, you look at all the things that people said about him during that time. I mean, he was McDonald's All-American, Iverson Classic participant. He was a high-level recruit. So, what are your thoughts on Mookie Cook, Dion, and maybe where you stand with him as a player?
I mean, I feel like we don't, it's very unknown with Mook, right? Like he came out of high school and one of the things that everyone was kind of like he needs to become a more consistent shooter. That was a little bit what he struggled with in high school. We have no idea if he's done that just because we haven't had the opportunity to watch him play essentially in 2 years. So there's a world where he's the same guy he was in high school, and you're taking a flyer on a guy who was a very high level recruit, kind of reaching that potential. And then there's a world where the last 2 years he's been locking himself in a gym, putting in a bunch of work, and you're going to get that finished product already. There's also the world that you're just getting an actor to commit to your school too. So like there's there's a plethora of options that could happen here. But nonetheless, I mean, he was a high level recruit. I think you'd be crazy not to take a chance on him. You mentioned this before we went on really quickly, how he played Braun in Shooting Stars a few years ago.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get Mookie Cook to my school just to see if he can get Braun to come to a game.
that's so Mookie Cook to West Virginia.
And we don't. Oh no, we do have a coach now.
Yeah. Oh wait.
we,
Oh
have,
yeah, y'all do have a coach now,
we
Karen.
have a coach
Look,
now.
so I sometimes I take this with a grain of salt, right? But it's always interesting to see how fan bases react to certain players like leaving, right? Like you'll see like a lot of fans be like, "Oh, well, it's time to go, da da da," or like this guy just wasn't good enough. It's what works out the best for the program. A lot of the stuff that I'm seeing is like they're wondering why this kid didn't get a chance. Like they think he's talented, they're wondering why he didn't get a chance. Now that's fan talk at the same time. Like I feel like on the outside looking in, there sometimes there's a situation where that does happen. Maybe a guy just gets a short end of the stick because of injuries or something like that. Also, like Dana Altman's a really good basketball coach. So like I trust him to be like, okay, Mookie's just like right now he can't give us enough on the court, so that's why he didn't play. But at the same time, I know that Oregon fans had to watch Brandon Angel, the Stanford transfer, play a lot this year, and he was not necessarily the best at all times. But with a high level recruit like this, a McDonald's All American, I feel like some schools will most certainly be willing to take a chance on him, to see, just kind of kick the tires on it, see if he can regain that form that he had. And really, it seems to me like this might be a situation where he needs to get healthy. You can't contribute if you're not healthy, and they need to get him healthy. So, Dion, do you have any schools in mind for him? Like I mentioned, so out of high school, he had everybody. Like chose him over Gonzaga, Kentucky, USC, a bunch of other schools. What do you think would be a good landing spot for him? I know he played high school in
And,
Arizona. I don't know if he's from that area or not, though.
and yeah, he played high school in Chandler.
So he's actually originally from Oregon, but I think he maybe moved or played high school in Arizona.
So the two options I got, because if you've ever lived in Arizona, you're upset you moved. If you've ever visited Arizona, you're upset you had a two-way ticket or a round trip ticket. So you got Arizona State for obvious reasons.
Mhm.
Like once they get a head coach, it'll probably only intensify his ability to go there. Number two, I mean Bryce is going to Arizona. So I mean if he could just make a call to Braun, like, hey Braun, tell your son to get me on the team.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing that feels more more Mookie Cook than ended up at Arizona State. I haven't seen a list yet. I haven't seen anything about it yet. But for some reason, I feel like he does end up at Arizona State. Like just, and at worst, he's in Tempe with it,
Just having a great time.
having a
Having a
great
great time.
time. People calling him Mook. Like it'll be special. He'll have a good time. But we'll be interested to see what happens with this. Obviously, when former five-star guys enter the portal, it's always interesting to see how people react to that, where it goes, whether they choose, to try to play at, another blue blood type school, another high level, or do they take a step back, maybe go to a lower level. We'll see what happens with Mookie Cook. But first things first, get healthy. Then we'll see what happens with Mookie. It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.